Hey there, lovely listeners. Welcome back to our cozy English learning podcast. Today, we're exploring a fascinating story called Frenhofer's masterpiece. Now, if you love art, creativity, or just a good twist, you're in for a treat. Let me give you a quick summary before we dive in. This story follows Frenhofer, who's known as the world's best artist. At first, he's living the dream-selling art, enjoying fancy meals, teaching students. But then, everything changes when he becomes obsessed with a new painting method. Frenhofer isolates himself, works non-stop, and, well, things get really interesting from there. We'll walk through each part of the story, break down key ideas, connect the lessons to real life, and even tackle some great vocabulary. Plus, I'll be asking you some questions along the way, so get ready to think. So, are you ready to discover what makes Frenhofer's journey so unforgettable and what it can teach us about creativity and understanding? Let's get started. All right, here comes the story, sentence by sentence. Listen closely and let's see what we can learn together. First sentence. Frenhofer was the best artist in the world. Everyone loved him. Next, the quality of his paintings was very high. He always used the best materials. He made a big profit from his paintings. He had delicious meals with his rich neighbors. He taught art classes. Life was good. Can you imagine living like Frenhofer at this point? He's surrounded by friends, good food, and success. Sounds pretty perfect, right? But as we'll see, things don't stay this easy for long. Then his attitude changed. He stopped selling paintings and teaching. He tried a new method of painting. He stayed alone in his apartment all day. He worked all day and all night, rarely eating. Soon Frenhofer became very thin, but he kept working on the same painting for many years. He worked as hard as he could. Now, you might be thinking, why would someone give up everything for just one painting? Maybe you've felt that drive to chase a dream, even if it means sacrificing comfort or company. Frenhofer's obsession is intense, a double-edged sword, fueling his art, but also isolating him. Finally, he finished the painting. He was very happy and invited other artists to see it. "I want your professional opinion," he said. He wanted them to judge it and compare it to other paintings. Everyone was very excited as they went up the stairs to his apartment. Frenhofer was excited to show his painting, and the artists were excited to see it. They'll love it, he thought. But they did not. Let me ask you, have you ever worked so hard on something and couldn't wait to show your friends, only to get a reaction you didn't expect? That's exactly what's about to happen to Frenhofer. He's hoping for applause, but life rarely follows our script. They were surprised by his painting. There was no white anywhere. Frenhofer filled the whole painting with lines and colors. There was no space for a normal picture. It was full of strange shapes. It looked bad to the other artists. He used symbols, and they didn't understand them. They thought it was terrible. "Why did you paint this strange picture?" someone asked. They didn't understand its beauty. Conflict time. Frenhofer's vision is so new, so different, that his peers just don't get it. Ever been misunderstood for your ideas? This is like showing your most personal doodle and everyone just stares. Ouch! But after some time, many people began to like his painting. People wrote articles about it in magazines. They said it was his best work. They loved his strange symbols. They loved his strange colors. Frenhofer's painting reminded everyone that just because something was new didn't mean that it was bad. He also helped them to realize that sometimes it takes people a little time to understand great things. Here comes the resolution. Sometimes the world just needs time to catch up with new ideas. Frenhofer's masterpiece was finally valued for its originality, much like how abstract art or even new music genres are often misunderstood at first. So, what's the takeaway? Don't give up just because people don't get you right away. greatness isn't always obvious at first glance. Let's dig into the key ideas. Why did Frenhofer stop selling his art and teaching? Was it about perfection or something deeper? I think he was searching for meaning in his work, not just money or praise. Maybe he wanted to create something timeless, even if it meant being alone. Now, why do you think the other artists didn't like Frenhofer's painting at first? New things can be scary. People often judge what they don't understand. Maybe the symbols and shapes were just too different from what they expected. So, here's a question for you. Have you ever tried something new and felt misunderstood? How did you handle it? All right, let's make this practical. What can we learn from Frenhofer's experience? For me, it's about persistence and self-belief. Sometimes we need to trust our instincts, even if no one else sees our vision right away. But there's also a warning here not to lose balance or cut yourself off from others. Frenhofer's obsession almost cost him his health and friendships. So, next time you're working on something new, remember, feedback is important, but so is believing in yourself. And if people don't get your idea yet, maybe they just need time. What about you? What lesson from this story sticks with you the most? Let's break down some important vocabulary from the story. First up, alone. If someone is alone, it means they're not with anyone else. For example, the boy wanted to be alone to think. Next, apartment. That's a set of rooms in a building where people live. Like, she has a nice apartment in the city. How about article? An article is a story in a newspaper or magazine. For instance, did you read the article in the newspaper about the soccer game? Let's not forget artist. An artist is someone who paints, draws, or sculpts. Like, he went to Paris to become an artist. And finally for this round, attitude. That's the way someone feels or thinks. For example, John has a bad attitude. He's always angry. Ready for more vocabulary? Let's go! Compare means to say how two things are the same or different. Like, if you compare cats and dogs, you'll see that they're both good pets. Judge is to decide if something is good or bad. The boy was going to judge how his mother's turkey tasted. Magazine is a regular publication with news and stories. She likes to read fashion magazines. Material, that's what you use to make something. Brick is a good material for building houses. And meal means a time when food is eaten, like breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Breakfast is my favorite meal because I enjoy breakfast foods. Method is the way to do something. One method to remember things is to tie a string around your finger. Neighbor is a person who lives near you. I like my neighbor because he's very friendly. Professional means having special skills for work. If you want to be a pilot, you must have professional training. Profit is the extra money you make when you sell something. I made a small profit from selling my old clothes. Quality refers to how good something is. The quality of his car is very good. Shape is a form like a square or circle. The triangle is my favorite shape. Space means an empty area. I don't have much space for things in my small house. Stair is what you use to go up in a building. You can take the stairs to the second floor. Symbol is something that stands for something else. This symbol tells us that we cannot smoke in this area. And finally, thin means not fat. The man was thin because he didn't eat much. All right, now it's your turn. Here are some questions for you to think about. What would you have done if you were Frenhofer? Would you have kept working alone or listened to other people's opinions? Have you ever created something that people didn't understand at first but later appreciated? How do you handle criticism or misunderstanding? Do you give up or keep going? Share your thoughts with us. You can send us a message or just reflect on these questions as you continue your English journey. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks so much for joining me to explore Frenhofer's story and all these new words. Remember, learning English is like painting a masterpiece. It takes time, patience, and a little bit of courage. Don't be afraid to try new things or make mistakes. Every step you take is progress. I'm cheering you on, and I can't wait to see what you'll create with your English skills. Have an amazing day. Keep practicing, and see you next time. Bye for now.